All plans, purposes, and achievements are created by thought. Your thoughts are the only thing over which you have complete control. These are words by Napoleon Hill. I consider this statement highly imperative and one among many underpinning the events that led to myself dropping out of University of Nairobi. Because indeed, there has to be something that one is in complete control, and that is one's thought process and metacognition. Let me also say that I strongly believe that each one of us is a seed, and that the future of a seed is in the seed. So then, let me give you the opportunity to experience and understand some of the deep secrets that form this seed by the name Dr. Titus. Let me also say that the person who knows the content of the seed is the manufacturer, the creator who created me. My work is only to discover who I am. I am going to unlock my life's journey to dropping out of university into these 5 key areas, and each area will form the basis for the next. The first area, personality. A person's distinctive patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. I once heard my mother say this about me that really summed up what I got to understand about myself. When I was a little boy, and at a time when I had started consuming food, I didn't want to be spoon-fed. I would hold the spoon and feed myself. I will explain what that means subsequently. When it comes to one's personality, I am of the view that this is one area that has been disregarded, especially as pertaining to curriculum implementation in my country and one's success in life. And that is why defining who an educated person is paramount. What are some of my personality traits that have been so dominant throughout my life? I am very stubborn. I am very daring. The second area, environment. We interact with the environment instinctively and distinctively based on our individual innate personality traits. And through the same interactions with the environment, we then understand them clearly in what we contextualize broadly as self-concept. Here, I will briefly focus on 2 environments. The first one, the home environment. This is the place where I learned that I am a very stubborn person. I am the last born in our family, so I heard them say that about me a lot of times. Most of the time, it's considered as a negative trait. And this is the reason as to why we need to consider the seed with this statement from Dr. Miles Monroe that the future of a seed is in the seed. Indeed, there has to be a reason as to why I am a stubborn person. And this is my discovery: to protect what I know and my purpose. I also learned that I'm a very daring person, and that when I believe it in my mind, I courageously go for it. Here, I can share my experience with the bicycle. This is close to mid-90s. I was very young. It was at a time when owning a bicycle in the village was considered high status. Not so many people owned bicycles at that time. I remember myself doing this. I would sneak out on my dad, grab the bicycle, leaning on a wall somewhere, pull it my side and then push it forward and backwards. Sometimes the bicycle could fall over me and I could cry out loud to my father's rescue. I never feared that the bicycle could fall over me. I did it several times until I could push the bicycle confidently. My next step was to ride on it. Here, the falling was hard. Injuries many times until I gained balance. My size didn't matter. My attitude did it. This experience sank deep into my subconscious mind. Indeed, you can't feed me. Give me the spoon and I will feed myself. My lessons. I learned to fail my way to success right at home, something that I can now describe as the innovators mindset. As an innovator, you fail 1,000 times and then succeed once, a breakthrough. With schooling, you're supposed to be succeeding all the time. You fail once and you're out. And then, the fact that I did it way so early than my peers made me feel special. I motivated them to do it, and I took most of them through the process. I'm not a motivational speaker by mistake. It's all in me. It's part of me. What about my toy car experience? My peers had the same design, which we used to call the scooter, which in order to enjoy it, you had to go up the hill with it and then ride on it going downhill. I never liked the idea of having to go uphill to enjoy a toy, so I designed mine to fit my home experience. I really loved it, and I spent the better part of my childhood with it, the longest of my peers. Why did I spend the longest time with my toy? That toy was my invention. I customized it to the things that I loved doing, and I used the materials that were at home. I knew how I wanted to utilize my time, and never did I feel bored in my childhood with my toy experience. This fulfilling experience taught me to be self-reliant, which blends well with the leadership environment. I learned not to follow the crowd and being okay with being alone, a very important trait of a leader. Why am I sharing my toy car experience? I want to talk about creativity. I happen to have come from a family of artists in the line of drawing. My dad had been a very good artist. These are just a few of his drawings. I spent the better part of my childhood experience seeing him do it, and indeed, these were some of the best moments that I live to remember in my life with my dad. Myself, I was born with the same talent, but due to my difficult academic life, I haven't had the chance to develop my talent to even get to match his standard. I used to love cars so much, and nothing really has changed to this very day. This is one of my drawings in the year 2000 of the famous Matatu in Voi Town. Indeed, these are some of the experiences where I learned to be creative in life. And my dad did not only talk about it, he instilled it in me through actions, and it became part of my life. The front seat obsession. Never did I like to travel sitting at the back of a car or matatu. That experience really got on my nerves. My parents had to be creative all the time to ensure that I got the view that I had wanted, and that is to get to see what the driver is doing and to also get the full view of the road ahead. Even on my father's bicycle, he had to design a specific seat at the top tube of the frame of the bicycle just for me, where I could sit comfortably and hold the handlebars with him. That was my best experience. Why was I so obsessed with the front seat? I was very curious. I just wanted to learn something new all the time and in my own way. I also wanted to be the one doing it. I hated being a passenger. I wanted to drive anything that was moving. And that is why I mastered how to drive a car so early in my life. Nobody taught me that. I was only given an opportunity and I knew exactly what to do. And among my peers, I was the first one to do it. All these experiences sank deep into my subconscious mind. It all comes down to give me the spoon and I will feed myself. This is what I now associate with being proactive, an essential quality in a leader. The school environment. Here, I will consider my primary school life. I can comfortably say that I am glad to have enjoyed one of the best learning environments the school had ever had, which made me realize my mathematics potential. Many thanks to all the teachers in Mwakiki Primary School at that time. You did a very good job. One aspect of my primary schooling life that stood out about me was that you could never find me at the study table at home reading books. But I really loved mathematics and the whole aspect of thinking through problems and finding solutions, applying different formulas, and outscoring everyone in my class. My KCPE examination results for the year 2003 were as you can see. I was the best in mathematics in my primary school that year. My self-concept. By the time I completed my primary school education, I had a good self-concept. I knew very well that I am stubborn, daring, I could draw, I loved mathematics, and I do not take the word impossible for an answer, all in light of the law of cosmic habit force. Indeed, these are the contents of the seed by the name Docta Titus. And like any seed, for it to germinate, become a plant, and produce fruits for consumption, it had to be placed in the right environment. With the discoveries that I made about myself, and taking into consideration that the future of a seed is in the seed, and that there is a specific environment that can make the seed to germinate, I had a dream school in my mind. I wanted to be in a top school in my district at that time, Kenyatta High School in Motate, and then work on being the best mathematics student while there, and then joining University of Nairobi thereafter. I was so conscious of my environment for germination. The third area, failure. Remember, I am a very stubborn person. Here comes the secondary school that I've been assigned to join by the system. This is the year 2004. This was the first time that I had a feeling of someone else grabbing the spoon out of my hand to feed me, an experience that didn't blend well with me. I got so bitter. What happened thereafter? Wrong environment for me. My transitioning from a primary school setup to a secondary school setup was all a mess for me. And that is how my germination was delayed. What came with it? Punishments. I was a day scholar, and sometimes I could put myself into problems deliberately. I was so bitter, remember? This situation got worse when I was later punished for it. And this is the point where I began to see flaws with the system of education of my country. I got so disoriented. I lost my passion to engage in academic activities. And the situation was made worse since there were many challenges with the mathematics department of the school. Failing in exams became the norm for me. Even getting the grade E in mathematics wasn't any big deal for me anymore, since most of the time the whole class could fail. It only troubled me when I found myself alone and contemplating on my dream. And that is how I ended up failing in the KCSE exam in the year 2007, getting the grade D- in mathematics and a mid grade of C-. But then, these words by Napoleon Hill are well fitting to usher the fourth area. He said, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit.